we are coming to wherever. So we are looking forward to ignite faith, hope, and transformation. Well, let me tell you something. We are here on Abundantly Restored because we believe in exceedingly abundantly, far more than we could ever begin to imagine. So come on in, take your virtual seat as we get ready for Abundantly Restored.
Now your host, Luwanda Williams.
Hello. Welcome to Abundantly Restored. I am Dr. Luwanda Williams. I am so glad that you are here for our premiere episode of Abundantly Restored, where we ignite faith, hope, and transformation. We will have meaningful conversations and stories of those who had setbacks, but yet major comebacks. But we have a great show in store for you today. And I am so glad that you are here joining us. We are going to have a discussion. Should we tell people we are depressed? Yes or no? Good question, right? Well, we're going to find out the answer today. We are going to discuss that today to find out, should we say something or should we keep it to ourselves? But we do have a great lineup. We also have Luwanda's Corner. You never know what's going to happen in her corner. We might do a giveaway. We might spotlight somebody today. You never know what's going to happen in my corner. So always be ready because you never know with Luwanda's Corner. But let me tell you something. It's good that we are here today. And I was sitting there and we're glad because we also have our special guest who's with us today, which is Lisa McLaughlin. We are so glad and excited that she is here with us today. So she is part of our show. We are excited, right? Yes. I am so excited. We are going to talk to her. Her and I are going to have a great conversation. But before we do that, have you ever heard the saying, don't judge a book by its cover? So many times I grew up and I heard this and I said, wait a minute. Well, what does it really mean to not judge a book by its cover? It says you shouldn't judge someone or something based only on what you see on the outward or only what you perceive without knowing the full situation. And so many times we can look at something and say, we look at them and we say, okay, they have an attitude. They don't know how to talk to people, or we look at someone and all of a sudden we see Can you hear me, Lisa?
Loud and clear.
Girl, this Lisa.
You was just warning. Let me tell you, girl, you was just talking. Girl, it kind of reminded me of that time when they put you up to say your Easter speech and you were only supposed to say like 5 words and grandma had to come and drag you off. You was just going on and on and on and on.
But Lisa, why did it all of a sudden just put me on mute? It literally just put me on mute.
And I was trying to just tell you that you were muted, that all you had to do was unmute yourself.
But Lisa, I did. It wouldn't take it off.
Oh.
It literally threw me back on mute. It literally would not even let me come off, Lisa.
What?
Lisa it wouldn't even let me do it. No. Wow. I was like, okay. Somebody really needs this today.
Okay. All right, girl. We're gonna try this again.
But you know what? Going on in Jesus' name. Let me see.
Yeah, because somebody could always watch it on the rebroadcast.
Right, exactly. Okay, right? So okay.
We are coming to wherever. So we are looking forward to ignite faith, hope, and transformation. Well, let me tell you something. We are here on Abundantly Restored because we believe in exceedingly abundantly, far more than we could ever begin to imagine. So come on in, take your virtual seat as we get ready for Abundantly Restored.
Hello. Welcome to Abundantly Restored. I am Dr. LaWanda Williams, and this is our premiere episode of Abundantly Restored, where we ignite faith, hope, and transformation. We have meaningful conversations and stories of those who've had setbacks, but yet major comebacks. But we have a great show in store for you today. We will have a discussion. Should we tell people we are depressed? Good question. Some say we should, some say we shouldn't, but we are going to discuss that shortly to find out exactly, should we say something or should we keep it to ourselves? We are going to have LaWanda's Corner. In our corner, we'll have a giveaway. We might spotlight someone. You never know what's going to happen in my corner. You never know. So all you do is be prepared as we are going throughout the show. As you're putting in your comments, as you're watching the show, look out for the corner because you never know what we are going to do as far as Abundantly Restored. And we are so glad because we also have Lisa McLaughlin with us today. Yes, we are so excited that she is with us. We are going to have a discussion with her shortly, and it's great. It's good, and I am glad that she is here with us today. So I'm glad. So we are going to have that discussion, and we are going to talk about, is it okay? Is it all right to talk? And we're going to have that discussion. It seems to be the system. It seems like there's some kind of technical is going in and out, but hopefully you can still hear me. So we are going to have that discussion, but also too, have you ever wondered? I mean, I've always heard this conversation and I've always heard it say, don't judge a book by its cover. And growing up, it made me wonder exactly what it meant, but I understood as we went on exactly what it meant to not judge a book by its cover. And you shouldn't judge someone or something based only on what you see on the outside or only on what you perceive without knowing the full situation. So as we are talking about this, we see someone and all of a sudden we don't see them, and we can't begin to judge someone based off of what we physically see. And so at this point, I just believe that it's something that we should take a second look at, and to remember that we can look at someone and they may look like it as that everything is okay, but maybe it's not really okay for them. So as we begin to look at these stories and, we ignite faith and we talk about different conversations on Abundantly Restored, but we are glad that you are here with us tonight. Somehow it lost my picture here. So we've been having some technical issues, but we're going to keep going. We thank God that Lisa McLaughlin is here tonight. And if you don't know who she is, she's also my sister.
Yeah.
She's actually my biological sister. She's my older sister, and we are so glad that she is here with us tonight on Abundantly Restored. We know her by Tipping Tuesday. Come on, Tipping Tuesday. She has helped a lot of you with Tipping Tuesday. We thank God for the tips that she gives. By Lisa, all things food, home, and life. So we are glad that she is here, and we're going to talk about that a little later on in the show. But let's start talking today. I want to talk about this subject on should we tell someone that we are depressed? Should we? Lisa, do you think that we should tell someone, or do you think that we should keep it to ourselves? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about this. You know, the only reason why I can only speak for myself at this point in time, but the reason why I chose not to tell people that I was depressed was because I didn't know I was depressed initially when it started out. I knew that I wasn't myself. I was lacking energy. There were times when, you know, my husband would say to me, Lisa, when was the last time you went out the house? And I would go, wait a minute, let me think, let me count, maybe 4 or 5 days. And, you know, at that period of time, I just felt like, well, you know, maybe I'm just in a season of wanting to be by myself. So I really couldn't tell anybody at that point in time that I was depressed because I didn't realize it initially.
And sometimes you don't realize it. Because you just feel like maybe I'm just having a bad day.
Yes.
Maybe it's just something I'm going through.
Yeah.
And you said, oh, okay, you know what? Tomorrow will be a better day.
Yeah.
And then we find out that Monday has gone on. Tuesday has gone on. Wednesday has gone on. And we're still feeling the same way. And it seems as if we can't seem to come out of this. It seems like, you know, in your mind, you're telling yourself, I'm getting better. You're telling yourself tomorrow's going to be a better day, but then you find yourself still in the same place. So yeah, that kind of brings on a whole nother conversation as to what's going on.
Yes. So I can tell you, you know, we lost our mother, November 14th, 2019. We lost our mother. 7 months later to the date, we lost Reggie, Julie, my first husband, Julian and Jared's father, my children's father. I mean, it was 7 months to the day. And then 9 months later, we lost the first great grandchild of you know, our grandmother, LaShondra, who was everybody's baby because, you know, Shawnee was the first grandchild to have a baby. Those 3 deaths shook me to my core. And it seemed like with each one, like I didn't get to grieve mommy because now Reggie was gone and I was trying to support the boys. And then, you know, no sooner than, you know, we're trying to get the boys through that. Then I'm helping, you know, my cousin Shawnee as she's dealing with this. And before you knew it, it was just too much. It was like, it was overwhelming. But the hardest part for me was when Shawnee, you know, said, Lisa, will you go in to the crematory because I can't go in? Will you go in with LaShondra along with LaChime, our other cousin? And I was like, yeah, I got this. Yeah, I'm strong in the Lord. You know, the Holy Ghost is with me. I'm going to go on in here. And in that moment, it was just overwhelming because 1 minute LaShondra was in my arms, a baby, and the next minute I'm standing there and we're putting her, you know, away. It's her final, you know, her being at the crematory. LaWanda, I have to tell you, that thing shook me to my core, and I just did not recover. I did not recover from it. And next thing I know, I'm not eating well. I'm not sleeping well. I'm not preparing Tipping Tuesday. I'm not interested in, you know me, I'm the hostess with the mostest. I'm interested in nothing. But I just kept it quiet. I couldn't even verbalize it. Even my husband didn't realize, except for he caught on when he's like, why is this girl not going out, not shopping, not doing anything?
And it's so I can imagine, that during that time, that had to be definitely a challenging time because you were dealing with grief, but then also there were so many other things that were going on. That was truly an experience, like probably most likely by itself, probably an experience you can't even begin to explain. And I tell people it puts you into a mindset that you don't even know that you're there. You don't even know that that's really what's happening. And what happens is that you still try to be you. You still try to go on as if everything is okay. You still try to keep moving forward. You still try to wake up and try and act like everything is normal when it's really not normal, because you don't know how to deal with where you are at that moment.
Because
You know,
honestly, I'm telling you, I got up every morning, business as usual. I would do my exercise. Would have YouTube church because I would turn on worship music and I'm praising the Lord in my room. And then, I'm eating, at a certain time. And, I was able to get up and to function. So because I could get up and function, I didn't realize that I was depressed because I was doing what I normally did in the morning. But what made me realize it is I happened to be, believe it or not, scrolling through social media one day, and somebody was talking about how there's high functioning depression, right? Where you're able to get through the day, you're able to go to work, you're able to come home. But at that point, that's when you give out. So when I was reading this and I said, this is starting to sound a little bit like me. Like I can get up, I can eat, I can function in the morning and everything. But wanting, it seemed like, oh, excuse me. That's only my nickname for my sister. So I would make it to the fireplace and I would just sit there and I would just let the TV play. I wasn't reading. I love to read. I stopped reading. I stopped crocheting. All the things that normally brought me joy, they just didn't bring me joy anymore.
And you don't realize until you're in the situation. This is what I tell you. You never know what you're going to do until you're there. It's easy for us to say what we're going to do and what we're not going to do. But until you are faced with that situation, until you are faced with that circumstance, you really don't know what you are going to do, especially when you are dealing with the loss of someone. So now you are dealing with a void that is in your life. And now you have to figure out, how do I go on? And I understand that completely, especially with us losing mom. And it was just challenging. No matter how you look at it, it was not going to be an easy recovery. And it was something that mentally, you had to deal with that thing mentally. And I know how it was to lay there and try and figure out, okay, what's the next thing? And you don't realize that you're in that depression. You don't even realize that that's what's going on until all of a sudden you feel like it's just like the littlest thing you do. It's like you wonder. You just wonder, does anybody know where I am? Does anybody even understand where I am? And sometimes we don't tell where we are is because we're afraid that we're going to be judged. And because we're afraid that we're going to be judged, we don't say anything, especially when it talks about the church. We don't say anything because we're quick. We're supposed to be okay. We're supposed to be strong. We're supposed to be okay. With our families, we don't say anything because they're looking to you. So we don't say, but we go on and act like everything is okay when it's really not okay. And yet you have to still get up the next day and pretend again when you know that you're only going back home to that same dark place that seems to be waiting for you.
And it's funny that you should talk about the body of Christ, because honestly, this evening, it just was a coincidence right before we went on that I happened to see a reel, and it was a pastor who said that, you know what? He said, depression is spiritual. And he said, and I'm going to pray that spirit off of you. And after he finished praying, he said, and now you're healed. And I'm saying to myself, but then why do we have bishops and pastors committing suicide? Why are worship leaders committing suicide? It's bigger than that. And I think in the body of Christ, we have to be able to tell our congregation, to tell our followers that it's okay to get therapy. it's a, you know, it's a stereotype in the church that if you get in there and you get a good dance in and you sweat and fling your hair all over and you speak in tongues and you leave, that depression is going to leave you. But sometimes you have to actually go and talk to somebody who can help you with what you're going through.
And that was good. And I'm glad that you brought that up. The reason being is that so many people think that the minute you say you have to go see someone, oh my goodness, red flag, everything, something goes up automatically. And they're like, oh my goodness. But let me tell you something. That's why they're there. And they're there to help us. They're there to help us to move past, because sometimes you're at a place where you're stuck and you need somebody to help you move past that in order to move on. It's not that you don't want to, you don't know how to. And what happens is that's why they have trained doctors. That's why they have people who are set to do this. They know how to move you. They know how to help you deal with this so that you can go on. If not, you will stay in the same place. It will be a different season, but it'll be the same place for your life. And what happens is the depression seems to get deeper and deeper and deeper. You're no longer eating. You don't want to get in the shower. You don't want to change your clothes. You don't want to pick up your phone. And so many things begin to happen when my opinion is that, yes, I believe you should say something, for the simple fact that I believe that our suicide rate would not be as high as it is today if maybe they just felt comfortable enough to say something. If they just felt comfortable enough to just have that conversation, to just say, that's where I am. I've been here for a couple of weeks. I don't want to live anymore. And I just don't know what to do, but that's where I am. And maybe if someone felt like they were comfortable enough that they had somebody they could talk to, I believe that things would be different in people's lives. I really do. But
I definitely
go ahead.
I definitely agree, but I think that people should talk to the right person. So it just so happens that my best friend of almost 40 years is a psychologist, right?
Yes.
That's why I knew that through our conversation that I needed to speak to somebody. And I think it's okay to talk about your depression with the right people, because the wrong people, if you just go, I don't know, tell it to the wrong people, they'll take it out of context. And they will have you as somebody who's ready to jump off the Brooklyn Bridge. No, girl, I was never ready to jump off a bridge. You know, I was never ready to slip my wrist or anything. I was just missing my joy. And I'm a very joyful person. I'm a very happy person. And I'm somebody who loves to entertain. And the things that brought me joy were no longer there. So sometimes when you can't verbalize what you're feeling, or you're not sure of what you're feeling, you have to speak to the right person, because the wrong people. I remember having this conversation with someone, and I was saying to them, I said, you know, I was really, really depressed. And the first thing that came out of their mouth is, I'm so glad you didn't commit suicide. Girl, I ain't never said I was killing myself.
Right.
I never said that. I wouldn't do that to Julian and Jared. They've been through enough. Why would I do that to my children? If you don't know how much I love my sons, then you don't know me. So that was never the case. So I think that we need to speak to someone who we can confide in, who maybe it could be your pastor, you know, if they're going to give you the right counsel. Or there's so many talk lines where you can call in for therapy, and you can do it you know, through the internet. You don't have to go into somebody's office. I never stepped into an office. All my appointments, you know, were at home, you know, right in my office, or, you know, in my kitchen. So I think we really have to define depression and the levels of it, because sometimes it's not always that you want to take your life. It's just that sometimes, like you said, you just can't move forward without help.
Exactly. And I so agree with that, because you do want to talk to the right person. That's key. Exactly. Yes. That is key. Yes. Because you don't want to talk to someone who they're depressed too. They can't help you. So we want to make sure that we're talking to the right people.
And I'm not saying this to be funny, but listen, I was used to go to a church, and there was a minister who everybody knew that she suffered from depression. She made it known, right? And so, they had her up front along with some other pastors, and, she was laying hands on people. And when it came, like I was in her, like they were steering me towards her line, I was like, not today. How are you going to lay hands on me and help me to recover? And you need help yourself.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. That's why it's important that, we pray and we ask God that it's the right people. That's key to whatever we do. That's key. And it's important that we know who we're talking to, and so that they will pray and they will know how to ask God to really what to pray for, and so that they don't lead you into the wrong direction either, because it can make your situation worse. It can make your circumstance totally worse. And that's not something that we want. We want to deal with depression because it's huge. It is something, it's almost like a secret, and it's almost like a silent killer. Yes. And what's happening is that most people feel like if I can just keep it to myself, then I don't have to worry about, I'm not bothering anybody. Because the truth be told, some people don't like to bother people. Because why? When they go to say something, you make them feel like you're bothering them. Exactly. So why should I come ask you anything if you're going to make me feel like that? So what do? I go home and I keep battling with this thing over and over and over again. And yet in my mind, I don't want to be here, but I don't know how to come out.
Right.
And it's sad, but it exists. And these are the things that I really believe that we need to talk about. And I thank God for support groups that are here. You have the National Suicide Hotline. They're 24/7, 1-800-273-TALK. Let me tell you something. They are there and they can help you. It's the Suicide Hotline. Let me tell you something. You might be in that place today. That might be a place where you're at right now, where you're saying, I'm at that place today, and I don't know what to do. And I'm tired and I'm exhausted mentally, physically. And I just need someone to talk to, if they can just listen to me. Because sometimes if you can get someone to just listen, they don't always have to say anything, but they're listening. And let me tell you something, it helps, and it truly makes a big, big difference. So please, that's where you are. Please don't hesitate to reach out. Please say something. I don't want to see you leave here prematurely. I don't want to see you leave here before your time to give yourself your own expiration date. No, you want to be as long as God has, as long as he says you'll be here. And we just have to know that there is help. And I think once we realize that, we can reach out and know that there's somebody there that says, I'm here for you and that I care. That goes a long way to hear someone say that I care.
Yes.
When you hear that, it makes a difference. And I'm telling you, when you've been there, when we're talking about this thing about depression, in order for you to talk about it, had to be a place that you've been at. And I know how it is. I know how it is to be there. But you know what? But I thank God for support, and thank God for people that are there for you to talk to. Yes. When you have that good friend, or you got that good sister, or you got that good brother, you say, you know what? Let me call my sister or my brother today. Let me call, because I need a laugh today. Yeah. I need a serious laugh. Let me tell you something. I'm sitting here right now. I thank God for my siblings. I'm telling you right now, this is support right now. I'm telling you, for my sister to be here tonight, I'm telling you, I thank God for her. I really do. Because even in the midst of us having some little technical issues, but I'm still moving on, because we're still going on, because it doesn't stop. No matter what it is, we still have to keep pushing forward. And we were built like that. My mom built us like that. She meant, my father, they meant for us to be, we were built to take things, and we learn how to handle situations and circumstances when they come at us. So you don't let it stop you. What do? You look up and get up and keep going. So You
But
know, I just, I just really think that it's important that that we talk about this, and that it's something that goes on continuously. Lisa, did you have any other thoughts on the depression?
I want to say that one of the reasons that I did a little studying on looking up high functioning depression, and those are people who get up every day and they can go to work and they do whatever it is they have to do. They can take care of their children. They do everything they need to do to get through the day, and then they close the door, and then that's when they're dealing with this cloud that's over them. And one thing I want to say is that sometimes we just get so used to doing the same thing the same way, and we're surviving, that we don't realize that we're depressed, right? Because I'm making it through today, so I can't be depressed. But you can be depressed. And as I want to reiterate, it wasn't until I saw that list of things that I went, oh, shoot, that's me. That's what I'm dealing with. So let me sit down and talk to someone. And one of the breakthroughs that I got is out of speaking to someone, is that I had to find a new normal. I had to find a new normal without mommy. I had to find a new normal without my children having their father. And I had to have a new normal without us having our first great grandchild, which was LaShondra. And so once I spoke to the therapist, and I'm explaining to her all of this, it seems so simple now. Like I would have never thought of it had I not spoken to her, because I just couldn't move forward from where I was. So now, a year later, that time has come and gone. And I thank God every day for restoration. I mean, he really has restored me. Now, when I get up and I just sit by the fireplace and chill, it's because that's what I really want to do. It's not because I can't move forward. But I really want to tell somebody that once you recognize that you're depressed or you're not yourself, definitely, I would say, speak to a professional right away. I mean, if you have somebody who's that you can trust in your life, who's going to help you move forward. But I definitely say, if you feel depressed, speak to a professional, because I don't think that I would have moved forward without it.
Exactly. And thank God, and that's what they're here for. They're here, they listen. This is what they do. That's why they're professionals. That's what they do. And it's good to know that there is support here. Please, I can't stress it any more than I am. There is support. And whatever you have to do, please, because we walk around with it and we keep walking around with it. After a certain amount of days have gone by, it's just certain things that you just realize it doesn't seem to be normal for you. That something is going on. Something. So I'm asking you to please reach out to someone. And most of all, know that you are cared. Know that somebody cares about you. Know that you might not realize it, but you make a difference in someone's life. You might not realize it today. Do you know that when you just say hello, when you send a quick text and said, I'm just thinking about you, do you know how much that can change someone's life? You never know. Sometimes it's just a simple text. They sent a nice, cute little emoji just to say, I'm thinking about sending a big hug to you. Let me tell you something. It probably has saved quite a few people's life. You never know. So I always say, if it is pressed on you to reach out to someone, please reach out to them. You never know. Please don't keep it to yourself. Reach out to them. Because there's normally a reason for why you need to. And maybe that's just the phone call they needed that day, so that they would not decide that suicide was their last hope. No. No. There's so much more for you. And I want you to be encouraged. And I am glad that we had the opportunity, because I wanted us to talk about this today. And you being in that place, I know how it is. I tell people, you can't talk about a place you've never been at, but you can talk about some place you have been at.
Yes.
And so just to, have you talk, and it's really, truly just been a blessing. And I really just thank God for that.
I
And
think you was kind of surprised, right? We had this, I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. And
yes.
when I told you, I said, Lawanda, I had been through a depression. And I remember that you got quiet on the other end of the phone. And I was like, wow, I couldn't bother you at the time because you and Kevin were going through so much. I mean, you all were being tried in the fire like it was nobody's business. And I just felt like if I could pick up the phone and tell Lawanda, it was like I felt like one more thing would have sent you over the edge because that's how much you all were dealing with. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want to bother you. And then, the same thing with Lily. Lillian was going through so much. That's our baby sister. And then Les is in Miami and he's dealing with so much. So it's like I couldn't even explain it to my siblings until it was over. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Once it was over, then I confessed. Tonight I was talking to Jared, to my youngest, and I was telling him, what the topic was going to be. And Jared was looking at me like, I never seen my mother depressed, and then that's when I went on to tell him, I said, but it's over, mm-hmm. This happened almost a year ago, but I'm glad that I'm here to testify about it because there are some people who they just couldn't deal with it. They couldn't move forward. And, like you said, they ended their lives. So I'm grateful to God because I never lost my faith. I never lost my relationship with God. I never stopped worshiping. I never stopped praising God. I never stopped reading my Bible. I never stopped. I never gave up hope. I knew that whatever it was, whether I was up or whether I was down, that God was with me. That much I knew for sure. And I knew at the appointed hour that he was going to bring me out. And I trusted him to bring me out. Now, it didn't happen by a pastor saying, one prayer and whoop, you're healed. But it did happen through who God put in my life to direct me to the right person.
And that's truly a blessing. I love because you never lost your faith. You held on to your faith, and faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of the things that are not seen. So we thank God when we can still hold on to our faith, even when we're in situations that are challenging, circumstances where we don't always have answers to, because life brings on its own situation. Life brings on a whole nother set of problems and circumstances, but it's how we finish. We get so excited about the end, but we don't want to talk about the middle. We get so excited about, yes, I've got the victory. Yes, we have won, but we never talk about the middle. There's always going to be a middle. And sometimes
that middle, what song kept me through that middle? Michael W. Smith, This Is How I Fight My Battles. It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you. That worship song would blast in my bedroom every morning because I knew that I was under a spiritual attack. Yes. I knew that I needed to come out, but I was like, Lord, this is how I fight my battles. This is how I'm going to get through the middle of this. Yes. I'm going to keep believing that not only are you with me, but you have your angels encamped round about me. Mm-hmm. And even though I was walking through the valley, Warnie, he was walking with me.
Yes, God. Thank you, God. Yes, yes. So you were not by yourself. Mm-hmm. And as we sit here, I'm sitting here and I'm going back to thinking back to when they look at you, you don't look like what you've been through. Let me tell you something. Lisa is a cancer survivor. Let me tell you something. Her story, amazing. Let me tell you something. Cancer survivor. How many years now, Lisa? 20 something.
25, and the baby is 25.
Wow, my God. And look, 25 years, a cancer survivor. Let me tell you something. That's a testimony by itself. Cancer.
Abundantly restored.
Let me tell you something. Yes, abundantly restored. Yes. And that just shows you how God restores and how he has restoration. So whoever it is, there's restoration for you. This is not it for you. There's restoration for you. I sat there and I thought about Lisa. So many times she's motivating, she's pushing people. You know, she's a life coach. You know, let me tell you something. Pushing people for better. And that's what it is. She wants to see you be better and to know that there's better things ahead for you. So, you know, she empowers people. And that's a blessing when you can empower people. You know, trained life coach with John Maxwell, trained. And she's coaching people and pushing people. You know why? Because she's not looking at where you are, but it's where you're going.
Yes.
So when God can use people in our lives, we have to know when the help is here. We have to know that help is here. It's not coming, it's here already. Yes. And we have to know, because everybody has been given something different. And everybody cannot mentor people. Everybody cannot lead people. She was in leadership for so many years with the city of Newark, New York, over 30 years. Yeah. In the department, come on, of social services, over 30 years. I remember when she started, okay, and worked her way up. Yeah. 30 years. But look, through those years, God kept her and brought her to her today. And look at her life, the story. I thank God you call her, she'll encourage you. Feel a little down, she's going to help you get back up. Yeah. And we need people in our lives that are going to help us get back up. And so many times we have to know that sometimes you have goals in your life and you don't know how to reach them. You know, that's why God places people in our lives to help us to get to our destiny, because we all have a purpose. We all call for something. We're not all going to do the same thing, but there is a purpose. Yes. When you know there is a purpose, you will stay focused and know that God can do anything but fail. And so I'm glad that we had this discussion tonight. I really hope that it really just helped the people. And I really hope that someone will take heed to whatever it is and know that there is help. Please take heed to it. And as we are going on, I really want to talk to Lisa. You know, she is known for Tipping Tuesday. I cannot let this go. Let me tell you something. I will receive messages from people. And they said, where's Tipping Tuesday? Where's Lisa? Wait a minute. I know she usually posted. Where's Tipping Tuesday? I said, okay, wait, maybe it's just a little late. Let me go check her page. Maybe, you know, but I knew she was always coming up with something. And no matter what it was, we thought that it's just, you think outside the box. And I love it. She thinks outside the box. And for some people, we need somebody that this is what they can do. They can teach us, you know, about home life, you know, cooking, because there are some that the kitchen is not the place for them because they don't do well there. And her little tips have really helped people to move better in the kitchen. It has given them the confidence, because sometimes you just need the confidence. It's not that you really don't know how to do it, but you just need somebody to tell you, you know, did you ever try it like this? I think about this. I was talking to my friend. She said she cannot make rice, Lisa, to save her life. I said, okay. I said, when I first started making rice, let me tell you something. I said, my mother would dump the pot out and she would say, do it again. So then when I did it again, my mother said, nope, you didn't follow the instruction. Dump it. We're going to do it again. She made me do that pot about 3 or 4 times, Lisa. She said, until you get it right, you can do right. Stop saying what you can't do. Well, lo and behold, she taught me how to do the rice. Lisa, I'm telling you, I said, Lord, I thank God today. Oh, I can make rice, most definitely. Okay. And I know how to do it. It's not hard, you know, it's just, so these things we learn growing up. But I tell people we appreciate the tips that you give us on Tipping Tuesday. I know we were having some technical issues because I wanted that video to come up for Tipping Tuesday, because this was a video that she did on the marinated chicken. And I love it. This video, I was done. I looked at it. I said, okay, you know what? I'm good.
Hey, it's Tipping Tuesday, and let me introduce you to my Lazy Marinades salad dressings. Let's go.
My goodness.
And I still believe in lazy marinades. Because the best thing about it is you can throw that marinade on in the morning, unless it's something with like fresh squeezed lemon juice, then you can't. But if you're using those salad dressings, you can throw that marinade on, put it in a container, go to work, come home and throw it on your inside grill or put it in your air fryer, and you have an entire meal.
That I just thought was just the way you know, and for some people, they might not think that. They might not realize that I can use salad dressing. And it was something that was just such a simple key, but it probably changed and made such a difference in someone's life on cooking. They don't have to sit here and try and figure out how to come up with all of these seasonings. Salad dressing is already seasoned. You know, now whatever you choose to add, you know, so it's just amazing. I thought so. What made you come up with Tipping Tuesday? How did you start Tipping Tuesday?
So All Things by Lisa, actually, you know, Lillian's BFF, Siobhan Mitchell, she had me do 5 episodes of a cooking show called It's Food at Home. And at the end of the, you know, filming and everything, she said, well, Lisa, where are people going to find you? And I said, I don't know, you know, I just did the cooking show. And she said, no, you need a website, you need a name and all this stuff. So, you know, it pays to have really tech savvy children. Allison and Julian sat there, and next thing I know, I had a website and all of this stuff. I had a page on Instagram. I had a page on Facebook. And then, you know, they're like, okay, but now you have to post stuff. And I'm like, post stuff like what? So it was coming up on a Tuesday, and I just went and sat on the porch and I talked about how I decorate my porch for fall. And I went back in the house, and then I tried to put the little video together, and the next day was Tuesday. And I was like, okay, I'll just call it Tipping Tuesday. And that's how it came about. And that was back in 2020. It was the first Tipping Tuesday. So then the following week, somebody said, well, is there going to be a tip tomorrow? And that's how Tipping Tuesday came about. So I took a little hiatus, but today I was talking to my producer also, which is your nephew, Jared. Yeah. And he really gave me some really great ideas. And this is what I'm getting ready to do. I'm coming back on my YouTube channel. So I have an All Things by Lisa YouTube channel. I usually just post it on Instagram and Facebook, a couple of times on TikTok, but I'm a teacher. So, you know, those videos are cute where people just slapping stuff together. I can look at those videos and tell you that they're lying. It didn't happen like that. So I like to teach people, and I like to explain so that when you're finished, your product looks just like my product. And I can do that on my YouTube channel. So that's what All Things by Lisa is coming back with, my YouTube channel.
I am excited. I cannot wait for Tipping Tuesday. I am excited. I'll tell you, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. It's amazing because she does so many different things. You know, Lisa she doesn't just do food, you know, she does home, life, you know, she transforms her dining room. I mean, she shows you how to change these different color tablecloths. She teaches you how to do so many different things if you're entertaining, and things that don't cost a lot of money. I love it. Yes, she will go somewhere and you would think she spent a lot of money. No, she does it on such a budget, and it looks beautiful. And once it's finalized, you're like, wow, I never thought about that like that. Exactly. So I always tell people, when you're looking for tips, look for Lisa. Look for All Things by Lisa. She has so many things. And not just that, she has Sweet Insanity. I cannot leave out Sweet Insanity. Oh, my goodness. She makes these cookies. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God.
That'll go from your lips to your hips.
Yes. And the cookie that I'm thinking about, Lisa, I believe it's the toffee. It's the toffee, and it has the nuts in it. And let me tell you something. We're going to show you some. We have some pictures of her cookies. You know, she has some cookies here. She does cupcakes. You know, she has these cookies. I'm telling you, these cupcakes, these cookies that are going to water in your mouth. Trust me, you're going to want to order them. You cannot just eat one. Trust me, you cannot. And I believe that my brother had a name for the cookie.
Let's call them. I call them my my toffee cookies, but let's nickname them crack cookies. And this is the truth. It was 5 o'clock in the morning, and he came to Pineville Lane and rang the bell. And I went to the door and I'm like, Les, why are you here? And he was like, my flight is in 2 hours. Can you bake me some cookies before I go? And I'm literally putting cookie dough, because I always have cookie dough ready. And I'm literally putting cookies in the oven so that he could take the cookies back. And then that's how he gave it the nickname crack cookies, because he was addicted to them.
And they are. You cannot just eat one. Trust me, Sweet Insanity. She does pound cakes. Oh my goodness. She does so many different kind of desserts. I'm telling you, you want to know, reach out to her. She is going to let you know how you can contact her, but most definitely, because she does so many different things, and it's important and it's good, because we don't always have all the answers. But when you're looking for amazing desserts, amazing cookies, and how to do things, and you're looking for some tips, come on, follow her. You want to follow her. She's going somewhere. She's doing some great and some wonderful and marvelous things. And I'm just excited and blessed. And most of all, that she would be my sister. So we are blessed. You know, I am truly, truly, truly blessed for her life, and, you know, what God is doing in her husband, Martin. We thank God for Martin. Hey, Martin, how are you? We are so thankful. And my nephews, Julian and Jared, my goodness, and my niece, Madison, you know, my sister, Lil. I just thank God, you know. But we are here, and it's important that we push people to the next level, push them to their next destiny. Because let me tell you something, all it takes is one person. Let me tell you something, one person has changed someone's life. It only takes that one person to take that cookie. It only takes that. If you have a vision, you have something that you want to work on, I challenge you today. I'm challenging you to say tomorrow is going to be a brand new day for me. I am challenging you to write the vision and make it plain. Though it tarry, wait on it. If God has given you the vision, start writing out how you want it to operate. Start writing out how you see it. Do it. Write it down the way that he's given it to you. Because let me tell you something. With us just keeping it in our minds is not doing anything. Put it to the paper. Put it to the paper, and you will see how things will begin to change. That's why we're igniting faith, hope, and transformation. Because when I look back at Lisa and I see how God uses her in so many different aspects of her life, and with so many, her story and how she has overcome. She is an overcomer from many situations, overcome from other things that wiped other people out. But yet she still kept pressing, still said, I have to get up for my children, still saying, I have to make a difference in someone's life. So even though this is what she does, this is not all that she does. And it's good, because I tell people, you don't have to be in a pulpit to give somebody an encouragement. Everybody is not going to be called to the pulpit. Everybody's not going to be called to evangelize. Everybody's not going to be called to do that. But the lane that you are in is the lane that you will operate in. And we thank God for the vision that God gave her, you know, and that you're moving forward in all things by Lisa, you know. So as we are here on Abundantly Restored, my prayer is that you keep pushing forward. My prayer is that you keep moving forward, even when the walls come up and when it seems like everything is going wrong, that you will still keep pushing, because there's purpose and there is need for you. There is need for you. There is need. Don't ever let anybody tell you that there is not need for you. There is need for you. The kingdom needs you. You are needed. There are these women that need you. They need to be encouraged. And they need somebody who's going to say, I'm going to step up and empower you and push you past and do what you have to do. Let me tell you something. I'll never forget. She had a weekend, an empowerment weekend, a reflection. And let me tell you something. I'll never forget. I believe it was the redirecting and reinvention. That's what it was. And let me tell you something. It was so amazing. She had did it at her home. And, you know, to see the women blessed, to see them come and how she encouraged, thought of different things for them to work together. And, so these interventions and these things that we do are coming to encourage people. But most of all, we see the restoration in your life. We are looking at you tonight because God is a restorer.
Oh, yes.
And he's still restoring. Come on right now. He's restoring. Yes, he is. Let me tell you something. All is not lost. No. I don't care what anybody says. To whoever is on this line tonight, all is not lost.
Amen.
And let me tell you something. He is going to restore. Yes, he is. The Lord is going to restore. And I am thankful today. Thank you for Abundantly Restored. For the vision that God gave me for Abundantly Restored. I wasn't looking at doing a second show. I do Uplifting Monday. Lisa, I wasn't looking at doing a second show at all. And I don't know. It's just, it happened. It wasn't something I thought about. I wasn't even thinking about it. I managed Uplifting Monday, and that has its own thing. But then to God to give me Abundantly Restored, that was a whole nother world. But I'm grateful for it. And I pray that as we come in on Thursdays at 6:00 p.m., that it will encourage people. I pray as we have stories that we ignite faith, hope, and transformation, that somebody's life is transformed. I want to see somebody's life. If it's for one that I have to get on here on a Thursday night for, I will do it because it's what God has commissioned me to do.
Amen.
And once we know that, we can move forward because we know what? Better days are ahead of us. We were sitting here and I was thinking about, Lawanda's Corner. Let me go to Lawanda's Corner. So as I was sitting there and I'm looking, I said, okay, I do want to do a giveaway. And on the giveaway, I am going to have a mug. We're going to give you the Abundantly Restored mug. And there's also going to be a Dunkin' Donuts gift card that we do want to do as the giveaway. And I'm asking because I really want Lisa. I'm telling you, you have to get these cookies. I'm asking, we're going to have her ship somebody some cookies. Okay. And so I was looking and I was going through it because I tried to also set up so that we could do the wrap. That did not work. Everything just went haywire. But it's okay. To God be the glory because we are still here. What? By the grace of God. So as we go on to the list and I see those that are signed on, I am looking for the seventh person that is on the live. The seventh person that put a comment into the section. It's enough people. There was the seventh one put a comment into it. And that's the person that is going to win the cup and they are going to win the Dunkin' Donuts gift card from me. So I'm on here and I'm looking. And let's see who it's going to be. Let's see. Because I like to make sure, that we have it right. We have 1, 2. It looks like Lisa Bunch is our seventh one.
Lisa.
She's going to put the seventh comment in there. It looks like it would be, according to my page, that's who it looks like it is. That Lisa Bunch, yes, would be the winner of the Abundantly Restored. You are going to receive the mug and you are going to receive the gift card from
a dozen cookies.
Yes. So we are excited. You never know. You never ever. I tell people you never ever know what's going to happen in Lawanda. You get the cookies and and it's good because you get the coffee, you get the mug, and you get your Dunkin' Donuts. Hey, they're gonna work together. You're gonna have you some nice coffee, have you some cookies. I'm telling you. So we are excited that you will be the one to be winning the giveaway from Lawanda's Corner tonight. So we are excited. Yes. But here on Abundantly Restored, we thank you so much for tuning in with us tonight. In spite of it, God still gets the glory. I still give him the praise. We still give him the honor. But let me tell you something. you want to join us next week for Abundantly Restored. Amen. We have Algerina Pringle is going to be with us next week from Transition into Wholeness. You do want to be here, definitely. We are excited for what God is going to do with Abundantly Restored. So I am grateful. Lisa, we thank you so much for you being here with us. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my goodness, my goodness. Such a trooper. We had some technical issues, but she's such a trooper. Such a trooper. We had so many technical issues, guys.
Yes, somebody else probably would have left, but I'm your sister. I'm never gonna leave.
Yeah, she didn't leave me because truth be told, all the technical issues that you see, I'm totally frozen. I don't even, it just totally froze me. Okay, so, but that's all right, because you know what? God still gets the glory.
Yes.
He still receives the honor, and he still receives the praise.
Amen.
So, Lisa, if you can please just let them know how that they can reach you, to make sure that this way they leave here tonight knowing how they can reach Lisa, all things food, home, and life.
Okay, so on Instagram, you can find me at All Things by Lisa. On Facebook, I am by Lisa, All Things Food, Home, and Lifestyle. On YouTube, I am All Things by Lisa. You can go to my website, allthingsbylisa.com, and it'll take you to my cookie shop.
Thank you so much. So see, now you know how to get in contact with her. So once again, yes, as we talk today, yes, please talk to someone, please. If you are in that place where you are in a place of depression, please talk to someone. Please, the suicide hotline number, we have it. Please, 1-800-273-TALK. Please don't hesitate. So thank you once again for joining in to Abundantly Restored. And remember, exceedingly, abundantly, far more than we could ever begin to imagine. So as you go on throughout the rest of the week, remember, exceedingly, abundantly, far more than you could ever begin to imagine. Thank you once again, and we'll see you on our next episode of Abundantly Restored.